Hey everyone, welcome back to Shop Life. This video has been requested so many times. I've got messages on Instagram, comments on the videos. So pretty much I'm just going to go over my quick basic car wash. It's not really going to be an actual tutorial. I'm just going to be going over the whole car wash. I'm just going to be washing it and I'll explain as I go along. So if you guys want a tutorial, be sure to leave a comment down below and I could do an actual full detailed tutorial. But for now, I'm just going to go over the basic overview. I had 303 products. They actually sent me a few of their products to go over and use on my car. So my car actually hasn't been washed in about 2 to 3 weeks. And I usually try to wash it every week, sometimes every other week if the car was in the garage or if it was sitting inside the shop and it wasn't too dirty. Right now it hasn't been washed for about 2 to 3 weeks. It's got a thick layer of dirt on it. There were a bunch of wildfires and all of that. So I might have to do a couple of extra rinses and a couple extra foams. But you guys will see the whole process and you guys will see how much dirt is really on there. Don't judge, I just haven't had time. I've been really busy at the shop and I really wasn't able to keep the car inside for too long because I had a lot of customer cars. If you guys want me to do the same kind of video for the interior, be sure to like the video and even comment if you can, requesting the video, and I'll try to do that as soon as I can as well. Anyways, let's get on with the video. Let's start washing the car.
Alright, so here are a few of the products that we're going to be using. We have the spray wax by 303, the metal polish that they also sent us. The speed detailer, we won't be using that right now. That's something used between washes. Then we have this tire balm and protectant. Then the foam gun, which I'm going to be using to foam the car obviously. Then we have the buckets with car wash soap. We've got one bucket for wheels and tires, one bucket with just car wash soap, and then we have this final bucket that has just clean water. And inside the bucket I also have this grit guard, as you can see here, and this is just to keep all the debris that I wash off and the bottom of the bucket so it doesn't get on the microfibers. Alright, so now here's the car. As you can see, it's really dirty. Let's go over the whole car. The car has been sitting outside for about 2 to 3 weeks. With all the wildfires, there's a lot of dust that got on it. And then also we actually painted the building in between, and I did actually take it inside for most of that, but there's always overspray that will get inside through the doors and whatnot. So there's a couple of spots where there's overspray, like the roof, the trunk, as you can see here, as well as the hood. But I do have a pretty good layer of wax on here, so most of the stuff should rinse off, but we'll see here in a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to start off by just rinsing the whole car. This is just to get that top layer of dirt off. I do use a pressure washer with this small tip on here. The pressure washer is from Harbor Freight, so it's just like a 1500 PSI. Nothing too crazy, so even though I'm really close to the car in some parts, there's not enough pressure to actually take off any paint or anything. But yeah, you can just see all this dirt just coming off. I mean, it's all just black dirt sitting on top of the paint. And usually when this happens, you will actually contaminate your paint if you do let dirt sit on it for such a long time. So this paint is probably a little contaminated. When that happens, you would end up having to clay bar the car, and you might even have to polish the car depending on how bad it is. But today, like I said, we're just going through a basic maintenance wash. Most of this dirt is coming right off, so I don't think it's going to be that bad. And the wheels are polished, so that's what we're going to be using the metal polish on later. But the wheels are just polished, there's no clear coat or anything on them. So they do begin to fade when they're sitting in the sun for a little bit. And when you're rinsing the car, you want to make sure, matter of fact, when you're even washing the car, you want to make sure that you're not in the sun so that the water doesn't dry on you or the soap doesn't dry on you while you're washing. So as you can see, you really want to be really thorough in your rinse. That way you get off as much of the dirt as you can, so you're not just rubbing the dirt in when you're washing it with the soap. The soap is more of a lubricant when you're actually cleaning the car, but you want to have as little dirt on the car as possible. That's why you want to use a pressure washer. And as you can see here, I like to take off my license plate just so I could get behind it as well, because there's going to be dirt behind there. If you want to go the extra step, you could also remove that plate holder. Now I'm going to switch out the tip for the foam gun, and we're going to start by foaming the car once. Since the car is wet already, the foam is not going to stick to it as thick as it would if it was dry. But only time you want to use a dry foam bath is if you don't have too much dirt on it. So like I had a bunch of dirt that was just sitting on there that I knew I could rinse off. I got this foam gun from Amazon. It was like $40 with the tips and all of that. And I just used some cheap car wash that I got from Walmart. I think it's called Blue Coral Car Wash. I fill it up about halfway and then the rest half with water. And I just put the water setting at the lowest on the actual foam gun itself, so that way it foams it more, even though it uses a little bit more soap. So usually I get about 2 full foams of the whole car out of that one container when I fill it up. But as you can see, I apply it liberally. I mean, I just go crazy with it. Now I'm just going to rinse off that top layer of foam. I had it sitting for about 4 to 5 minutes. It felt like it was starting to dry up, so I'm just going to rinse it off. This is just to get any extra dirt that the foam could have captured. And so I didn't really rub anything. I didn't scrub it at all yet. Just foamed it, let it sit, rinsing off all this foam now. And then I'm going to foam it one more time before we actually start washing it. So here's the second foaming, like I said. This is typically what I do. I would usually start off, if the car's not too dirty, instead of rinsing it off, I would just start off with the foam and then rinse that foam off. But as you saw today, we rinsed all the dirt off first. So with this second foam, what you can do is you can actually use this as your car wash soap. So if you don't want to put another soap, another bucket with car wash soap like I have here, you can just have a clean bucket of water with a grit guard and just use the foam that's already on the car as your soap. And make sure you never go in circles when you're washing your car. And you do want to start from the top and work your way to the bottom. So as you see here, I'm doing the roof first, then I get the windows, the mirrors, then the fenders, the hood, the top of the trunk, and then I'll start going to the lower half of the car. Main reason for this is because the lower half of the car has the most dirt from road debris and whatnot. So that's why you don't really want to start at the bottom, because you're just going to capture all that in your microfiber. And whenever you feel like your microfiber is getting dirty or like capturing a lot of dirt that's not coming off in your rinse bucket, just make sure you get another microfiber or whatever you're using to wash your car. If it's a mitt, whatever, just try to get another one, that way you don't rub any dirt into the car. And like I said before, make sure you're not washing in the sun, that way you don't have any water drying up or any soap drying up causing water spots. And when you're out washing the car, you don't really want to scrub too hard, especially if there are dirty areas, because if you start scrubbing really hard, you're just going to start scrubbing that dirt around the paint, causing very small scratches. That's what you'll see in the sun, like swirl marks, when you actually see the reflection. And you don't want that, and that's another reason why you don't want to go circles. You want to do straight lines. And you should always often flip your microfiber or your mitt, whatever you're using. Just flip it every now and then, that way you have a clean side and a different panel. So now with the top half rinsed off, I'm starting the bottom half. I'm just going to do the lower fenders, lower parts of the doors, the back bumper, the front bumper, and then I'll come back around, get the side skirt, and at the very last step, I usually try to go underneath the side skirt, as well as underneath like the fender where you can still see the painted surface, as well as the rear quarter panel and the back of the side skirt. So after rinsing off the bottom half and the rest of the car, I'm going to start on my wheels. The wheels, since these are polished, they don't have any other clear coat or anything like that on them. I'm just using normal car wash soap and just a brush. This seems like a hard bristle brush, but it's really not that bad. So afterwards, I follow up with a microfiber just to get any spots that the brush won't reach. You can see the wheels are not that dirty, so you could even do this at the beginning when your car is being foamed at first. You could just clean them while the foam is settling down. But I like to do it at the end when they're not that dirty. And then I also like to go ahead and do my exhaust tips since they are polished. Now with the whole car rinsed off, I'm going to start drying the car. These microfibers were actually provided to me by 303 Products. As with any new microfiber, you should always pull the tag off, as well as try to take off all of the loose fibers that are on there. Some microfibers have more than others. And we're also going to use a spray wax. This spray wax can be used on wet or dry surfaces, so I'm just going to use it as a lubricant to dry the car. And it actually puts a quick small layer of wax on it. And this is a carnauba based wax, so it is actually pretty good. You don't really have to spray it over the whole car. You can just spray it on your microfiber. But I like to just spray it on the whole car because it starts beating up some of the water, and some of the water begins to fall off right away. So microfiber works best when it's damp. So you want to start off with the most water, absorb as much of it as you can, wring it out, and then keep going. And you want to keep wringing it out in between. And also, just like when you're washing the car, start with the top and go to the bottom, because while you're wiping some of this water off, it will run down, go to other parts of the car. So if you start in any other spot but the top, you're going to end up having to wipe it one more time when the water starts dripping on it. And you also want to wipe your door jambs with a separate microfiber. This is just to clean them up a little bit and get the rest of the water off as well. Now we're going to use this metal polish on the wheels. The directions say that you want to get 2 microfibers, one to apply and one to buff the product off. So when you're applying the product, you want to apply it liberally and rub it into the wheel or whatever metal that you're polishing as much as you can. Use that microfiber, rub it in, let it sit for 1 to 2 minutes after you've rubbed it in. And what will happen is it'll start forming a very light haze, which you'll see here shortly. Once that haze is formed, then you can go ahead and buff it off with a clean microfiber to actually get the rest of the shine to come back. So you can see the haze here. When we're wiping it off, the shine is coming back. And if I was actually doing a full detail and not something really quickly, I would actually use a polisher to polish this metal out really well, and this polish would work for that as well. But nonetheless, you can see the results here. They look really good. I did get some on the tire, but the tire balm should take care of pulling off the rest of that. I'm also going to apply this metal polish to the exhaust tips just to make them shine a little bit more. Now that we have the rest of the car and all the wheels polished up, we're going to apply this tire balm to the tires. On the direction of this bottle, it says you can apply multiple layers to achieve the shine that you want. I actually like my tires looking matte, so I'm only going to apply 1 coat. At first, as you can see, it looks really shiny, but once the tire actually soaks up some of this protectant, it dries out and becomes a matte finish. But like I said, you can apply multiple layers to make it as shiny as you want.
So as you saw, we were able to clean the car up really well. Shines like it always does. I actually like these 303 products. They're actually really, really good. They smell really good as well. I've actually used their aerospace protectant before. They didn't send me that, and I don't have any with me right now. But the aerospace protectant, you can actually spray that on like rubber, plastic, anything, and it actually keeps it nice and shiny and not too greasy or anything like that. It actually protects it from UV rays. And the 303 protectant, the aerospace protectant, you can actually use that on anything. You can even use it for your Halloween decorations to keep them looking fresh for years to come as well. So if you guys need other 303 products, make sure you just go check out their website, check out their social media. They've got compounds, they've got polishes, they've got a whole bunch of stuff. And they're a pretty good company. They were nice enough to send me these products and their microfibers as well. And they were actually really, really good. But anyways, like I said before at the beginning of the video, if you guys want a video like this on the interior, feel free to like the video and leave a comment down below. So thanks for watching.